The complaint related to a theft that was committed at my farm in February. The allegations are serious, and it is only correct that they be thoroughly investigated and that the due legal process be allowed to take its course without interference. As we emerge from the era of state capture, we must be firm on the principle that no person, not a single person, is above the law, and that everyone, regardless of the position that they occupy, must be held accountable for their actions. I have pledged my full cooperation to the investigation process that is underway. I am prepared to be held accountable. I opted of my own volition to appear before the Integrity Commission. We were meant to meet a week ago, but the date did not suit everyone. We will finalize another date in days that come, and I will go before the Integrity Commission. But I would like to say I will not allow these allegations to deter me from what needs to be done to rebuild our economy. I will not allow this to deter me, to discourage me from the work that I have to do. And I will not be intimidated, nor distracted, nor bullied into submission. Now, for as long as I'm still privileged to be the President of the Republic, I will do my work. And I will continue to work alongside South Africans, working together with them to create jobs, to tackle poverty, to build safe communities, and to change the lives of our people, and also to tackle the issue of electricity in our country. I will continue to pursue far-reaching economic reforms to secure a reliable supply of affordable electricity and to end state capture and corruption. Tomorrow, I will lead a team of ministers and officials to visit one of our troubled power stations and have discussions with the workers, with the unions, and with managers, and that I want to do without being distracted. I want to do my work. For as long as also I'm president of the ANC, I will fulfill the mandate of the 54th conference to undertake and complete the fundamental renewal of our movement. The National Executive Committee is going to be meeting in special sessions in coming days to look at the extent to which we can deepen, broaden, and foster the renewal of our movement. And I will work alongside all leaders and cadres of our movement, and together with our alliance partners, to end factionalism, to end patronage and corruption. We will continue to build our branches as centers of community activism and re-establish our cadres as selfless servants of our people. As a movement and as an alliance, we will never succumb to the manipulation and disinformation, to the abuse of office, to the undermining of democratic institutions, or to the threat of violence or insurrections. We are in the fight, comrades. We are in the fight for the soul of the African National Congress. And we will not back down for fighting to ensure that the ANC is revived. We are also in the fight for the survival of our democracy. We are in the fight for the survival of our way of life, our way of doing things. We are in the fight for the well-being of our people and the progress of our nation. As we confront the challenges of the present, we would do well to recall the message of Oliver Reginald Tambo to the 7th Congress of the South African Communist Party in 1989, when he said, "Let us consolidate and strengthen our alliance and advance in concert. let us remain vigilant and watch out for those forces who never leave the boardrooms where they studiously plot our undoing. This would support our developmental objectives. As we undertake these reforms, we remain firm on our position that strategic state-owned enterprises must remain in public hands if they are to drive growth, transformation, and development. Now, there's always this notion, as we try to restructure some of these state-owned enterprises, accusations are thrown around that what we are seeking to do is to privatize some of these state-owned enterprises so that we can sell them cheap to so and so and so and so. That is a lie. We are not, through restructuring, seeking to privatize. In fact, we are trying to modernize and ensure that the state continues to play its role, its given role in ensuring that these state-owned enterprises function well. Now, as we undertake these reforms, comrades, we want to pursue a developmental agenda. The reforms we are undertaking in the energy sector provide a good illustration of the approach that we need to take. Our national utility, Eskom, has not only been in a state of distress, not only for the past 3 years or 4 years, it's been in distress for easily 15 years. But it has been operating according to a model to the technology or the economic conditions of the present. For the past 100 years, Eskom has operated as a monopoly, as a single company responsible for the electricity generation, transmission, and distribution. And I always give an analogy to many people that if you are to fly from OR Tambo to Cape Town at night, or Cape Town to OR Tambo at night, you just look at the splendor of the wonderful lights that adorn our country, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. And if you sit back and you ask yourself, where is this generated from? And then you reflect on the fact that it is generated by one company. One company which, if it fails, becomes a spectacular calamity for the entire country. Now, that is the risk that we have. If we look at other countries, like China, for instance, it has a number of state-owned electricity generating companies that even compete amongst themselves to even bring prices down. And that is a future that I think we should begin to imagine. That yes, we should reduce the risk that the country could be exposed to. Like right now, we are exposed to a monumental risk because the one company that has been generating electricity for 100 years, with power stations that are more than 50 years. I was saying to Comrade Gwede the other day, when we started organizing mine workers in 1982 and organizing the mines and the power stations, some of those power stations, Comrade Zogwana will remember, were already 30, 40 years old. With the NUM being 30 years old, is it 40 years now? 40 years old today. You can look at the power stations that are so aged and that continue to pump electricity. And that in part is part of the weakness and the risk. For much of its history,